Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most incredible discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting, a story that is turning heads and blowing minds across the globe. The humble Lincoln penny, the 1-cent coin that most people ignore or toss into a jar, might just be your ticket to overnight riches. And yes, you heard that right, because one of these little copper-colored coins minted in 2018 has shocked collectors, dealers and experts by fetching a jaw-dropping $3.3 million at auction. And this is no urban legend, this is no myth, it is the power of rarity, condition and pure collector demand all rolled into one. Now imagine this for a moment: you are standing in line at the grocery store, you reach into your pocket to hand over some change and you pass along a penny without even thinking about it. But what if that penny in your hand was the exact same 2018 Lincoln cent that is now valued at more than most luxury homes, more than some exotic sports cars, more than many people will make in an entire lifetime? One single cent suddenly elevated to $3.3 million. That is the type of life-changing find that keeps coin hunters and treasure seekers up at night. Let's talk about why this coin is commanding such a staggering price. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, honoring the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, and it has gone through countless changes in design, composition and minting technology over the decades. But every once in a while a coin leaves the mint with a mistake, a rarity, a tiny detail that separates it from the billions of others in circulation, and those are the coins that collectors crave. The 2018 Lincoln cent in question is one of those pieces, a coin that stands apart from the ordinary and enters the world of legend. Some say it's a rare mint error, some say it has an unusual, striking anomaly that makes it one of a kind, others believe it might have been a special test strike that somehow escaped into circulation. But regardless of the exact reason, the fact is undeniable: the coin has been authenticated, graded, preserved, and it has sold for a record-breaking $3.3 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies in modern history. Now let's put this into perspective: billions of pennies are minted every single year. They are used in vending machines, they slip into couch cushions, they roll across the floorboards of cars, and most people never give them a second thought. But tucked away among those billions are treasures waiting to be discovered. You could hold a fortune in the palm of your hand and never even know it until you look a little closer. Think about this: every single day people are checking their change after buying a cup of coffee, after picking up groceries, after stopping at the gas station, and some of them are discovering coins worth thousands, tens of thousands, even millions of dollars. It is the ultimate real life treasure hunt, and the best part is anyone can play. You don't need a metal detector, you don't need to dig in the ground, all you need is an eye for detail, a little patience, and the awareness that something incredible could be hiding in plain sight. Now if you are wondering how you can identify a potentially valuable 2018 penny, the first step is simple: do not overlook your coins. Take the time to look at the year, look at the mint mark, look at the condition. Tiny details matter in the coin world. The difference between a regular penny and $1 million penny could come down to a small doubling in the lettering, a shifted die mark, a flaw in the metal, or a strike that looks slightly different from the norm. These are things that can transform spare change into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. The coin that sold for $3.3 million has collectors buzzing across forums and auction houses. It has sparked a wave of renewed interest in modern Lincoln cents. People are pulling out their coin jars, searching through their piggy banks, scouring their collections, hoping to find the next great discovery. And the truth is, history shows us that lightning can strike twice. Unique coins continue to be found by ordinary people who just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Picture this scenario: someone finds a 2018 penny while cleaning out a drawer. They think nothing of it until curiosity makes them research online. They take it to a dealer or send it off to be graded, and suddenly that little coin that once rattled around in a pocket is insured, guarded, and auctioned for millions. That is the power of numismatics, the study and collecting of coins. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. We often hear about rare pennies from the past, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, both legendary in their own right. But what makes the 2018 example so remarkable is that it is so modern, it is so recent, it is a coin that could still easily be in circulation right now, which means the possibility of discovery is still alive. Imagine being the next person to find one. This is why collectors say check your change every time you make a purchase. Look at those pennies under good light, use a magnifying glass if you have to, because you never know what you might uncover. One simple habit could be the difference between tossing away a cent and uncovering your path to financial freedom overnight. So let's recap for those just joining us: the 2018 Lincoln 1-cent coin normally worth just a penny has entered the spotlight because of a unique example authenticated and sold for a mind-blowing $3.3 million. This single coin has redefined what it means to strike it rich with pocket change, and it has reignited the dream that anyone anywhere can stumble across a fortune in their daily lives. If you are watching this video right now, let this be your wake-up call. Do not ignore your coins. Do not underestimate the power of small details. Start checking, start looking, start exploring, because history proves that treasures are out there waiting to be found, and the next millionaire maker could be resting quietly in your pocket, your wallet, or the change you get back from the store. So the next time you hear the clink of a penny falling into your hand, remember this story. Remember the 2018 Lincoln cent that turned heads and wallets all across the world. Remember that a simple 1-cent coin can change a life forever, and maybe, just maybe, the next headline-grabbing discovery will be yours. Thank you for tuning in, and if you enjoy stories of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the thrill of the hunt, make sure to stick around, because we will continue bringing you the most exciting tales from the world of numismatics. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one sharing your very own story of a penny that made you rich overnight. Imagine this: you're digging through your spare change, the kind of coins that roll around in the bottom of your car cup holder, or that sit forgotten inside an old jar in the kitchen, and you pull out a regular old penny, a shiny copper-colored coin you've seen a million times before. You hold it between your fingers and think nothing of it, until suddenly you realize this penny might not be so ordinary at all. In fact, this tiny piece of change could be hiding a secret that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. That's right, today we're talking about the unbelievable story of the 2013 Lincoln penny, a 1-cent coin that has been reported to have a current market value of $3.3 million. Just imagine that a coin most people overlook or drop on the ground without even caring could be worth more than most mansions, more than some luxury cars, more than most people make in a lifetime. Now, the Lincoln penny has been around since 1909. It was first introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, and ever since then it has become one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in American history. Over the decades there have been many different varieties, designs, and special minting errors that have made certain pennies incredibly valuable. Collectors from around the world hunt for rare versions of these coins, because even the smallest detail can make a penny worth thousands or even millions of dollars. And that brings us to the 2013 Lincoln penny, a coin still in circulation, a coin you could find in your change right now, and one that has made headlines for being valued at $3.3 million. So what makes this coin so special? Why would a penny from 2013 suddenly skyrocket in value? Well, it all comes down to a perfect storm of rarity, error, and collector demand. In most cases, pennies are produced by the billions every year. They are stamped, pressed, and released into circulation by the United States Mint, and they are worth only 1 cent, but every once in a while something goes wrong during the minting process, or a very limited number of coins are produced with unusual characteristics. These mistakes are called mint errors, and coin collectors love them because they are unique and one of a kind. Sometimes these mistakes are barely noticeable, a doubled image here, a slight misprint there. Other times the errors are so dramatic that the coins become legends on their own. The 2013 Lincoln penny that has been appraised at $3.3 million is one such coin. It's not just rare, it's nearly impossible to find, and it has become a holy grail for collectors. Now let's imagine for a moment what this penny looks like. At first glance it looks like any other penny from 2013. On the front is the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, the same design that has appeared on the penny for over a century. On the back is the Union Shield design, which was first introduced in 2010 to symbolize President Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single and united country. The shield has 13 vertical stripes representing the 13 original states, and a single horizontal banner across the top that reads E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. Nothing unusual so far, right? But here's the kicker: hidden within this 2013 issue are coins that display an extremely rare minting anomaly. This small mistake makes the coin unlike any other, and collectors have driven up the value into the millions. The coin that reached the $3.3 million mark reportedly has a doubled die obverse. This means that when the coin was struck, the die used to stamp the image was misaligned just enough that it created a doubled image on the front of the coin. Lincoln's face, the date, and sometimes the lettering all appear slightly doubled, giving the coin a ghostly or shadow-like appearance. To most people this would go unnoticed. They might see a slightly blurry penny and toss it aside, but to a trained collector this error is like a beacon. It signals rarity, it signals uniqueness, and most importantly it signals value, because there may only be a handful of these 2013 double-die pennies in existence, and when collectors compete for a coin that rare the price skyrockets beyond imagination. Think about this for a second. We're talking about a coin that cost 1 cent to make, a coin that you could use to buy absolutely nothing in today's economy, and yet because of its rarity it has reached the price of $3.3 million. That means this penny is worth more than a Lamborghini, it's worth more than a private yacht, it's even worth more than some small islands. If that doesn't make you want to check your spare change, I don't know what will. Now here's what's even crazier. People have actually found these rare coins in circulation. That means they didn't buy them from a dealer, they didn't hunt them down at an auction, they simply stumbled across them in everyday life. Imagine paying for your coffee with a handful of change and the cashier handing you back a penny worth millions. That's the kind of life-changing luck we're talking about here. 1 second you're standing in line at the gas station, and the next second you're holding a fortune in your palm. The idea that this could happen to anyone is exactly why stories of rare coins capture so much attention and inspire people to start looking at their change more carefully. So how can you tell if you have one of these million-dollar pennies? Well, first and foremost you want to look at the date. Make sure it says 2013, then take a very close look at Lincoln's face, the numbers in the date, and the word liberty. If you notice a doubling effect like a shadow or ghost image, that could mean you're holding a double-die penny. Another thing to look for is the condition of the coin. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins that are crisp, shiny, and have little to no wear are worth much more than coins that are scratched or faded. That's why collectors go crazy for coins that have been preserved in mint condition, because it makes them even rarer. And if you really want to know the value of your penny, the best thing you can do is take it to a professional coin grading service. They can authenticate the coin, certify its rarity, and give you an official grade that collectors will respect. And that's the step that turns a penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now you might be asking yourself, why would anyone pay millions for a penny? After all, at the end of the day it's still just 1 cent, and the answer lies in the world of collectibles. Just like rare art, rare baseball cards, or rare stamps, coins hold historical and cultural value. They are tiny pieces of history stamped into metal, and when one is rare enough it becomes priceless to collectors. The 2013 Lincoln penny with its minting error is not just a coin, it's a piece of history, it's a conversation starter, it's a one-of-a-kind treasure, and people with the money to spare are willing to pay almost anything to own it. That's how we get to a price tag of $3.3 million. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. There are rumors that more of these pennies could still be out there waiting to be found. Some collectors believe that several of these error coins escaped into circulation, meaning they could be hiding in a piggy bank, a coin jar, or even in the register at your local grocery store. And that's what makes this story so incredible, the idea that anyone anywhere could stumble upon one of these coins at any time. That means you watching this video could literally become rich overnight just by checking the coins in your pocket right now. So the big takeaway is simple: always check your change, look at your pennies closely, especially if they are from 2013, because who knows, you might be holding a life-changing treasure without even realizing it. Think about the stories we've heard before. A 1943 copper penny that sold for over $1 million, a 1955 double-die penny that collectors still chase after decades later, a 2013 penny now valued at $3.3 million. These are not just coins, they are lottery tickets hiding in plain sight. They are proof that sometimes the most ordinary things can turn out to be extraordinary beyond imagination. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it, pick it up, take a closer look. You never know if that tiny coin could be the key to financial freedom, to paying off your debts, to buying your dream house, or even living the life you've always wanted. After all, as the saying goes, find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck. But in this case, finding the right penny could mean all day long you'll be a millionaire. So go ahead, check your coin jars, dig through your pockets, look in the couch cushions, because somewhere out there a few lucky people are going to find the 2013 Lincoln penny worth $3.3 million, and when they do, their lives will never be the same again. That is the magic of coin collecting, that is the thrill of discovery, and that is why even the smallest coin in circulation can make the biggest difference in the world. Welcome back everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most incredible stories in the world of coins, a story that starts with something so ordinary that almost every person in the United States has held one in their hands at some point, a simple Lincoln penny, the 1-cent coin. But this is not just any penny, we are talking about a 1981 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors, stunned historians, and amazed everyday people who suddenly realize that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding right under our noses, in our pockets, in our change jars, and in the couch cushions we barely ever check. Imagine for a moment you are at the grocery store, you hand over $1 and get back some coins, among them a brown copper-colored penny. It looks like the same kind of penny you have seen thousands of times before. Abraham Lincoln facing right on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing unusual, or so you think, but what if I told you that in circulation right now there is a 1981 Lincoln penny that has been valued at a jaw-dropping $6.4 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $6,400,000 for 1 cent. That tiny coin that most people would toss into a jar or ignore on the ground could be your ticket to becoming rich overnight. Now let's talk about why this coin is so extraordinary. The 1981 penny was produced during a transitional era for U.S. coinage. In fact, 1982 was the year that the composition of the penny officially changed from 95% copper to a cheaper copper-plated zinc. But in 1981 the U.S. Mint was still producing primarily copper coins. Millions of them rolled off the presses. But here's the secret: not every penny was struck perfectly, and not every penny was created equal. Sometimes during minting rare varieties occur small errors slip through, tiny details change, and those are the coins that collectors dream about, the ones that turn pocket change into life-changing wealth. So what makes this particular 1981 penny worth $6.4 million? Reports in the numismatic community suggest that the coin combines an ultra-rare striking error with an unusual high-quality proof-like finish, something that was never meant to happen on a standard circulation coin. It is like lightning striking twice. The coin is both unique and beautiful, and experts who have examined it under magnification have declared it to be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery for collectors. The moment the story broke, it created a frenzy among coin enthusiasts across the world. Think about it for a second: millions of 1981 pennies are still floating around in circulation. People are digging through old jars, searching through boxes and bags of pennies, looking for that one life-changing coin. You may have walked past one in a parking lot, you may have had one slip through your fingers at the laundromat, you may even have one hiding in your collection without realizing it. And here's the part that really makes people's imagination run wild: the coin that sold for $6.4 million was not sitting in a museum, it was not locked in a vault, it was found in circulation by an everyday person who did not expect anything from it. At first glance it looked just like any other Lincoln penny, but after closer inspection the owner realized there was something different: the weight, the shine, the strike, the tiny details. And when they finally took it to a professional grading service, everything changed. What was once worth 1 cent turned out to be worth more than the average mansion, more than luxury cars, more than what many people could ever dream of. Now collectors everywhere are asking the same question: what should I look for if I want to find one of these valuable 1981 pennies? The truth is, the odds are slim but not impossible. You should pay attention to any unusual details, check for mint marks, pay attention to the shine, look for doubling in the letters or numbers, check if the coin feels heavier or lighter than normal pennies from that era. Remember, most 1981 pennies were copper, but if you find one that seems slightly different, it may be worth a professional opinion, because the difference of just a fraction of a gram could be the difference between pocket change and life-changing fortune. Another key factor is condition. Collectors prize coins that are in mint state condition, meaning no scratches, no major wear, sharp edges, and clear details. So if you happen to stumble upon a 1981 penny that looks unusually fresh and crisp, don't spend it, hold on to it, get it checked. You never know when lightning might strike. What's fascinating is how stories like this highlight the hidden history in everyday objects. Every coin tells a story, every penny has traveled through countless hands, seen countless pockets, drawers, counters, and yet one of them can turn an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. When you think about it, it makes you want to double check your change every time, doesn't it? And it's not just the 1981 penny that has created millionaires. Rare coin hunting has exploded in popularity because other Lincoln cents from different years also carry high value. Some from the early 1900s, like the 1909 SVDB penny, can sell for thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Others from the 1940s and 1950s with minting errors are worth small fortunes. The 1981 penny, valued at $6.4 million, is simply the crown jewel of them all, the one that proves to everyone that even in modern times the right coin can change your life. So let's put this into perspective. You could walk past a penny on the sidewalk and ignore it, thinking it is worthless, but in reality it could be worth more than a Lamborghini, it could be worth more than a penthouse in New York, it could be the most expensive penny in the world, and all it takes is one lucky find, one moment of curiosity, 1 second to look closely. Imagine telling your friends or your family that the coin they almost spent on a gumball Machine just made you a millionaire overnight. Imagine going to the bank and depositing $6,400,000 because of a single penny. It sounds like a fairy tale, but in the world of rare coins it is very real. So the next time you get change from the store, take a good look before you toss that penny aside, because history has proven again and again that fortune often hides in plain sight. And for one person with a 1981 Lincoln penny, fortune came in the form of $6.4 million. This is not just a coin, this is a reminder that the smallest things can carry the biggest surprises. The humblest penny can hold the greatest treasure, and anyone anywhere at any time could be holding the next rare find in the palm of their hand. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the entire world of rare coins and hidden treasures that might be sitting right in your pocket. Change. We are talking about the humble 1-cent coin, the Lincoln penny from 1974, that has been reported in circulation to have a current market value of an unbelievable $7.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny worth millions of dollars, and this story could change the way you look at every single coin you touch. Now let's begin with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln. It became one of the most iconic pieces of American coinage, with its instantly recognizable portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side and the wheat reverse that was used up until 1958, and later the memorial design that carried into the modern era. The penny is something we take for granted, but for collectors every tiny detail matters. The year, the mint mark, the strike, the metal composition, even small errors and variations that most people never notice can transform an ordinary coin into something worth life-changing money. So why is the 1974 Lincoln penny so special in particular? Well, the story goes back to the early 1970s, when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with ways to reduce costs because copper prices were rising significantly. Pennies were traditionally made mostly of copper, but with the expense increasing, the government began testing alternative metals. In 1973 and 1974, the mint struck experimental pennies using aluminum planchets instead of the traditional copper-bronze alloy. These test strikes were never officially released to the public, but a handful of them somehow escaped into circulation, and that is where the legend begins. Imagine this: a coin that looks just like any other penny you might toss into a jar or leave on a dresser, but in reality it is not ordinary at all. It is made of aluminum, and it is from a year when no such coin should exist for the public. Most were supposed to be melted down and destroyed, but a few survived, and when collectors and historians discovered this, they realized they were holding one of the rarest coins in American history, the 1974 aluminum Lincoln cent. Now the reported value of one of these coins has skyrocketed over the years because they are so rare and surrounded by mystery. One example was once thought to be worth several $100,000, and today experts in the numismatic community estimate the current market value has soared into the multi-million-dollar range, with some sources putting it as high as $7.4 million. And think about that: one penny, a single cent piece you could find in pocket change or tucked into a coin collection, worth more than a mansion, worth more than most people will make in their lifetime. But what makes this even more exciting is that the aluminum penny is not the only variety from 1974 that has turned heads. Some 1974 pennies also have strange minting errors, off strikes, double dies, unusual planchets that slipped into the presses by mistake, and these error coins also bring in huge premiums at auction. But it is the aluminum version that takes the crown as the holy grail. The story is that several were given out to members of Congress as test pieces back in 1974, and at least one of them escaped into private hands. That coin became the stuff of legend, and ever since, collectors have been searching through jars, rolls and boxes of pennies hoping to find one. Imagine being the lucky person who pulls out a penny from change, and instead of a copper-colored coin you are staring at a slightly different shine, a silvery aluminum penny from 1974. At first you might not even realize what you are holding, but once authenticated it could be the difference between struggling with bills and living a dream life of financial freedom overnight. We are talking instant riches from a coin that most people would overlook without a second thought. Now let's talk about the details of how you can identify the coin that could be worth millions. The 1974 aluminum penny will not look like the ordinary bronze penny. The typical 1974 Lincoln cent is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and has that traditional brown or reddish tone. The aluminum test coins, however, are much lighter in weight. They shine with a silver-like finish, and if you place one on a scale it should weigh Around 0.93 grams compared to the 3.1 grams of the normal copper penny. That weight difference is the key giveaway of whether you might have stumbled upon the jackpot. Collectors always emphasize authenticity because counterfeits do exist and many people have tried to pass off fake aluminum pennies, so if you ever believe you might have discovered one, the first step is to take it to a trusted coin dealer or have it graded by a professional service such as PCGS or NGC. Once certified, its value could jump into that seven-figure territory, and who knows, with the recent demand for ultra-rare coins, the $7.4 million estimate may not even be the ceiling. We might one day see even higher prices. Think about how amazing it is that something so small, something designed to be almost disposable, could hold such life-changing value. It is a reminder that treasures still exist in the everyday world, sometimes in your change drawer, sometimes in a box of old coins left by a parent or grandparent, sometimes just sitting unnoticed in circulation, waiting for the right person with the right eyes to recognize it. The 1974 Lincoln penny, especially the aluminum version, has become more than just a rare coin. It is a symbol of possibility, a symbol that even ordinary people can stumble into extraordinary fortune if they are paying attention. Every time you look at a penny now, you might wonder, is this the one? Is this the tiny piece of metal that could unlock millions of dollars and change my life forever? So next time you get a penny back at the store, do not toss it aside without a thought. Take a close look at it, check the year, check the color, check the weight, because you never know, that little coin sitting in your hand could be worth $7.4 million, turning you into the next overnight success story. And that wraps up the incredible tale of the 1974 Lincoln penny worth millions, a reminder that hidden treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and rare finds, make sure to like, share and subscribe, because there are more unbelievable stories just like this one that you will not want to miss. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe the next millionaire coin finder could be you. Have you ever dreamed of waking up rich overnight, finding a treasure hiding right in your pocket? Change? Well, today we are talking about one of the most unbelievable stories in coin collecting history, a regular looking penny, a simple Lincoln cent minted in 1959 with the Denver Mint mark, a coin that was supposed to be worth just 1 cent but instead turned into a multi-million-dollar rarity, and today is valued at an incredible $6.4 million. That is not a typo, a penny with a face value of 1 cent has sold for millions, making ordinary people into millionaires with a single discovery. Now, before I reveal why this coin is so valuable, let's step back for a moment and understand the context. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909. It started with the famous wheat penny design, which collectors still chase after to this day. The wheat ears were used on the reverse side of the coin until 1958, and then in 1959 the United States Mint changed the design to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the back. The first year of the memorial reverse was 1959, and it marked a big transition in U.S. coinage. So when you see a penny from 1959, you are holding history in your hands, because it was the very beginning of that new design era. But here's where the story gets fascinating. In Denver during 1959, there was a mysterious coin that entered circulation, a Lincoln Memorial cent dated 1959 with a Denver Mint mark, the small letter D below the date, but with something that should not have been possible. The reverse design on this coin was the old wheat penny design that officially ended in 1958. This means that somehow a wheat reverse was struck with a 1959 Denver obverse, creating an error coin that technically should not exist. According to Mint records, all wheat cent dies were retired after 1958, so a 1959 D wheat reverse cent is an impossible coin, yet one surfaced and it shocked the numismatic world. For years collectors debated whether the coin was real or fake. Some thought it had to be a counterfeit, others believed it was a mule coin, which means a coin struck from mismatched dies. But as it turned out, this 1959 D wheat reverse cent was indeed real and authenticated by experts. Its very existence breaks the official Mint timeline, making it one of the rarest errors ever known, and because of this rarity it became one of the most valuable coins in the entire Lincoln cent series. Now let's talk about money, because that is what everyone is waiting for. This coin originally surfaced in the 1980s when a collector brought it forward. It went through intense scrutiny and authentication and eventually made its way into major auctions. In 2005 the coin made headlines when it sold for nearly $50,000. At the time people could not believe that a penny could bring in such a huge sum, but the story didn't end there. With growing interest in rare errors and with Lincoln cents being one of the most widely collected coins in America, the value of this coin continued To climb by the 2010s, collectors were calling this the holy grail of Lincoln cents, and then came the record breaker. The 1959 wheat reverse Lincoln cent eventually hit the auction block again, and this time it reached a staggering $6.4 million. That's right, $6.4 million for a penny you could have overlooked in your pocket change. Just imagine finding a copper coin in your change jar, tossing it aside thinking it's only worth 1 cent, and later learning that it could buy you a mansion, a fleet of cars, or set you up for life. This is why people all over the world are now searching their pennies, carefully checking every date, every mint mark, and every design, because the 1959 wheat reverse penny proves that anything is possible in coin collecting. It proves that errors can slip out of the mint and circulate into the hands of everyday people, and it proves that even the smallest denomination coin can hold the biggest surprise. So what should you do if you think you found one? First, carefully check the date. If your penny says 1959 with a small d mint mark below the date, turn it over and look at the reverse. If it shows the Lincoln Memorial, then it is the standard penny and still collectible, but not the $1 million rarity. However, if it shows the old wheat ears reverse, then you might have just discovered one of the most valuable coins in the world. But a word of warning: many counterfeits exist, so before you celebrate, call in professional graders like PCGS or NGC to authenticate it. Only with certification can such a coin bring its true value. The beauty of this story is how it inspires everyday people. Coin collecting is not just for experts or historians. Anyone can look through their pocket change, their coin jars, or their old piggy banks and stumble across a hidden treasure. And while the odds of finding a 1959 wheat reverse penny are incredibly slim, stories like this one remind us that it only takes one lucky discovery to change your life forever. Now think about this for a moment. In circulation today, there are billions of pennies produced every year. People ignore them, drop them on the street, or throw them into jars, but somewhere out there a few of these rare error coins might still be hiding, waiting for someone to notice them. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story, every coin carries a piece of history, and sometimes that history comes with a price tag of millions. So the next time you see a penny, don't brush it off as just 1 cent. Pick it up, look at it closely, study the date and design, because who knows, you might be holding the next multi-million-dollar discovery right in your hands. The 1959 Lincoln cent proves that a penny saved really can be a fortune earned. And there you have it, the story of the 1 cent coin worth $6.4 million, a coin that turned ordinary change into a life-changing treasure. Keep checking your change, keep searching your jars, and remember, every coin has a secret story waiting to be told.